Hey. There we go. We are.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we are live.
Hello, hello. Welcome to our PPV Magic Hour. We are gonna wait. Let me look here. We're gonna wait just a bit to let people hop on. But welcome. This is our 1, 2, 3, third Magic Hour, right, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Third.
Yep.
And so we're super excited. And we are going to, how about right now, if you're already on, how about you hop over and share the live with your friends and family via the Facebook link on our PPV page. Let's see. We'll all do that now.
Woohoo.
And okay, if you're on, I see some comments. Oh, hello, ladies.
Oh, I can't see that. There we go.
Yeah, if you're on, drop us a hello so that we know that you're on here. Because we can't see everybody's names right now. So we are going tonight to be talking about summer travel and specifically about debunking summer travel rumors. So we're super excited. We're going to get things kicked off. While our intro video plays, you guys grab a snack, grab a drink, share out the live, and we'll be right back. Okay, yay!
You not just love our little video.
It's so cute.
So cute.
Oh, they're like people.
I know. So cute.
Friends.
I see we have some other friends joining us.
Yes. Meredith.
Yeah,
Meredith just got back from Disney.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. Their first trip. They had an awesome time.
Fun.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. If you're already on here and you haven't said hello, do so. If you do have a PPV Inc. agent already, during this live, we're gonna have you, or even during the playback, to drop a comment, just saying like, "Hey Whitney, hey Jenny, hey Jennifer," and I know several of us have some kind of fun stuff going on our own pages, whether it be giveaways or drawings and whatnot, and we're gonna use some of these names and hellos from the comments tonight. So make sure you drop a hello and give a shout out to your PPV agent if you have one and you're on here, but welcome. So if you weren't on before the video started, we were introducing our topic for this evening that we're super excited about. But before we do that, we're going to introduce the ladies. So tonight we have Miss Jennifer up top and Jenny.
Happy to be here with everyone.
Yay!
We have way too many Jennifers, and we have 4, right?
Yeah.
Jennifer, Jenny, Jennifer, owner.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer Cameron.
Cameron.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Popular name.
So tonight we're going to kick it off with rumor number 1. We're going to just jump right in. I'm going to take this rumor. This is kind of a biggie. This is something that's new since the parks reopened, and it's the park reservation system. So, oh my gosh, there are so many rumors about the park reservation system that we could probably do a whole live just based on that new system. But we're going to just focus on a couple of biggies that we hear quite often that we thought might be helpful if we address. So first things first, the park reservation availability. So we know now the new system is that you have to make a reservation for the park that you're going to on the day that you want to visit. And you're going to do this once your trip is booked and you have park tickets linked. And you're going to do this via your My Disney Experience account. And your PPV agent's going to help you with all of that. Just like before, we're going to help map out your days and we're going to nail down where you're going to be when. But as you know, if you've done much Disney planning with us post-COVID, that availability calendar is a little bit tricky the closer we get to summer, right? So popular times of the year, when we go take a peek at the calendar that shows us whether a park has availability to visit it or not, sometimes looks full. So either one or two or three of the 4 parks are full, or maybe even all of them if that calendar looks gray. So that's what we want to kind of tackle first. What does this mean? What does this mean for you and your park day? And so we want to remind you, first of all, that Walt Disney World is still operating at a limited capacity. So even if it's time for you to travel and you just hop back in and take a peek at the availability calendar just because, and you notice that it's completely booked solid, this does not mean that the park is at 100% capacity, okay? This simply means that the allotted amount of park reservations for that day or that, the time that you're looking for has been used. So we're still at that 35% capacity. That has not changed. So don't panic if you see that, okay? That's going to be our first bit of advice. That calendar looking full does not mean the park is full or the park is now at 100% capacity. That's not what that means. Disney's made it clear to us that they are not going to be fully open at 100% anytime in the near future. We'll let you know if that happens, but that's not what that means. So that's rumor number 1. A full availability calendar, even seeing some of that availability gone, does not mean we're at 100%. Number 2, there are 3 different pools of availability when we're looking at the park reservation system. So there is a calendar for ticket-only guests. There's a calendar for resort guests who booked a package, and there is a calendar for annual pass holders. Now, this availability is different across the 3 calendars. So on any given day, you might look at the annual pass holder calendar, and it might look like there's availability, and you might look at the ticket-only calendar, and it looks like there's not. So this is important to you as a resort guest because this means that Disney has the flexibility and the availability to move that availability around, right? So as we approach a travel date, if, say, there are a lot of green days, a lot of availability for annual pass holders, sometimes Disney will take some of that availability and put it in the bucket for resort guests, which is great. So you might see kind of a full park calendar, and then the next day, all of a sudden, it's not full anymore. And that, again, does not mean that Disney upped the capacity. It's just a fluid system that allows them to move availability between those 3 options. So ticket-only guests, resort guests, and pass holders. We actually just saw this happen yesterday, right? So a large part of May and some of June was already booked solid for several days and even full weeks. And yesterday, all of a sudden, a lot of the annual pass holder availability got moved into the resort category, and we saw new availability. Again, doesn't mean anything different with the capacity. It just means that they're moving that around to accommodate the need. So that's a good thing. So keep that in mind. The other thing to remember that we want to tell you is that park hopping availability is different than the park reservation system availability. So when you look at the availability on a calendar and it's almost time for your travel and you have a June trip and you see that the calendar looks like it's nearly all booked up and you have a park hopper, don't panic. That does not mean that you cannot park hop. So here's what park hopping looks like post-COVID. You have your park hopper ticket, you have your park reservations, and we're calling the park that you're starting at is your home park. Okay, so you make your park reservation for your home park. This means this is the park that you're going to begin in. And at 2 p.m., you have the opportunity and the option to hop to another park. You have to start in your home park, even if you only stay there for like 20 minutes. You have to enter your home park to be able to hop later in the day. And that availability to hop is not the same availability as the park reservation system. So how are you going to know if a park has availability to hop to? Well, there are 3 main ways to find out. Okay, so first, you can call the park hopping hotline. Okay, so this is just going to be an automated number that you're going to call when you're ready to hop, or even earlier in the day if you just want to check in and see kind of what availability is feeling like that day. You call the hotline, it responds, it tells you what parks have availability to hop to, and there you go, and you just know. Side note though, if you happen to call and where you want to visit doesn't have availability, that's not necessarily true for the whole entire day and night either. Call back in an hour, call back in 2 hours, and then, you know, likely you'll be able to hop right over. I do want to pause and say, though, I don't think any of us, and I think this is true kind of across the travel community, and Walt Disney World's been saying the same, the availability to park hop has been there. I don't think any of us have really had experience not being able to hop or having clients that haven't been able to hop. It's pretty wide open. Disney has kind of kept a big enough buffer to allow people to bounce between the parks. Otherwise, they wouldn't be selling the park hopper. But these systems are in place so that you can call ahead and just triple check. But so far, every time we've called and we've had clients call or you're moving around, you've been able to do so to any of the 4 parks. So you're going to start in your home park. You're going to call the hotline. Or number 2, you can check with your transportation. So transportation, the drivers and those that are operating the transportation are now also available to check that you have a park hopper ticket if you're not sure, and also to be able to check availability for you. So before you leave the park that you're at, your home park, you can say, hey, can you just double check for me one more time that where I'm going, I can go. And they have the capability to do that. So that's your number 2 option. Number 3 is have those push notifications turned on via your MDE app. That if you have the most updated version, unless you've manually turned those push notifications off, they should just automatically update. But Disney is saying if ever there's a time that a park cannot take people for park hopping because they're at capacity, then everyone will receive a push notification via their app that just says, hey, Hollywood Studios is no longer taking park hoppers at this time. Again, we're not seeing that happen right now, but that app does have the capability to be able to send that message out guest wide. Do we have, hey, Deb, do we have questions over here? Any that we haven't answered? Have we had park hoppers? Have people been hopping with the new park reservation system? Let's see. I know I had several do it over spring break when the calendar was exactly like we said, fully maxed out. No days were available for new bookings. And there were no issues at all hopping between the 4 parks. I think you're muted, Jenny.
I am. I was trying to get rid of that feedback. No, I think we get to try that out next week too. When part of the team's heading down there, so we'll get to try it out and see. We're going to attempt to hit all 4 parks in 2 days.
Yeah, so that's
going to be exhausted.
Yeah. So that's when, oh yeah, Danielle hopped all over last week. And so issues, Danielle, did you call and check, or did you do any of that, or did you just hop assuming that you were good to go? We'll see if she responds. So the final.
Have you called that number?
I have, yeah.
I know, I have to. Like, just out of curiosity, but I mean, that is like the easiest thing to do because it's just so quick. There's, you don't have to go find somebody to ask. You just call the number and
Yeah. Katie Bailey. Oh yeah. Katie and Danielle hopped and had no issues. Super easy. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. I think people panic a little bit when they hear all of this talk about park availability being limited or gone. They're stressed then about what does that mean for the crowds. They're stressed about what does that mean for park hopping. And so hopefully this little bit of information kind of has helped you understand a little bit better about how the availability works and how it's a fluid system. It's not all or nothing. It's not always when it's gone. Sometimes it comes back. And you're still going to have an awesome limited capacity experience. Now, that kind of leads us into our next topic that Jennifer is going to talk about, which is, as I mentioned, the park reservation system replaced our beloved FastPass system. And people ask us all the time, is FastPass coming back? When is FastPass coming back? People that are booking now post-COVID that haven't traveled since before the change are like, what? Whenever we tell them that, we have this new system, we're not using fast passes right now. And so Jennifer's going to talk to us about what does that mean? What does it mean that we're now using park reservation and we don't have the fast pass option? What does that mean for us in terms of waits, and what does that look like in the park? So take it away, Jennifer.
So I do want to add, when it comes to the Park Pass reservation system, I always tell my clients, even if the park is at capacity that day, that is not going to be anywhere near like it was pre-COVID. It's not going to feel the same. It's going to be totally different when it comes to crowds. So keep that in the back of your mind, that it's nothing like it. You're going to be fine. You're still going to have a magical time no matter what you do, I assure you. So yes, we do get the question often of, there's no fast passes, you're telling me, but I see guests utilizing the fast pass queue. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is the DAS pass, which is the Disability Access Service. And so with that, it is more of an alternative way for waiting in line for those who do qualify, qualifying guests. So it's very easy to use. All you have to do is just visit the cast member at the attraction that you want to experience after you get your pass at the guest relations. And then they will give you a return time that is comparable to the posted wait time. You can go off and have, drinks or go see a show. You're not staying in line for that particular guest who needs that pass for their particular disability. And when they do return, where are they going to go? They're going to go on that fast pass queue to bypass all those guests who are standing in line. So it's just a really good way for those guests to utilize that system. But that is one way you are seeing those guests use that fast pass line. It's not just someone who somehow got a fast pass. We don't know how, and they have it and I don't. So don't think that they have the upper hand on something and you don't, because that is one reason that you are seeing that. Another reason is for those who are utilizing rider switch, which is fantastic for those
rider switch
who don't meet the height requirements, or those who are intimidated by those rides. We use it a lot with my youngest. My husband would ride with my older ones. I would sit out with Kate. Then whenever he was done, I would ride with my oldest one and he would sit out with my youngest Kate. And where are they going for that second time? They're going to the fast pass queue. So there's always going to be reasons why it's being utilized. So don't panic that, why didn't I get a fast pass? And the third reason is for those who are taking the VIP tour.
Which we love those,
but yes, I know Whitney has done one. I have not. I would love to do one. I know Carrie Ann
was supposed to
one last week. Poor Jenny missed out on one.
I did. Darn COVID.
Yes, but there's always next time.
Yeah,
it's on my bucket list to do one day for sure.
Yes,
I know Carrie Ann did one. So there's lots of reasons why you do see guests there. And I do want to touch on the DAS pass again, because April is also Autism Awareness Month. And if you've been following Practically Perfect Vacations with Jenny the past couple of weeks, she has posted some really good tips and information on that. And we also have an agent, Kathleen, who is fabulous. And she is actually a certified autism travel professional. So she is definitely a good resource for us to utilize. And she's definitely an asset to our team in that sense, too.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, the DAS pass. Let's talk just a quick second about that, just so we can kind of clarify who that covers and what exactly that does. So when we say for guests that qualify, the DAS pass is intended for guests who have cognitive or physical disabilities that make it very difficult for them to wait in a line. So it's not intended for people to skip a line. It's intended to let them go elsewhere during the allotted wait time that is there. So let's pretend like we are wanting to go on Peter Pan's flight. Wait time posted is 45 minutes. A child in your group, they are not able to manage that 45-minute wait time. So you're able to get what's the DAS pass for that. Use your DAS pass to get to be able to come back in 45 minutes. So essentially what you're doing kind of reminds me of the old Fast Pass system, don't you think? Because you're going to either that attraction or the Blue Guest Experience Team umbrella, and you're getting one set up, either linked to your Magic Band, your DAS pass, like it's all linked, magically together. And it gives you that return time. So then your family, whoever's part of that immediate family with the guest, they can go do other things like Jennifer was saying and come back after their return time hits, which is always equal to the posted wait. And you can actually come back anytime after that posted wait. So if it says return at 1:45, you can come back anytime after 1:45. But you can't get a second pass until you've used that first one. So it really is a phenomenal tool. And like Jennifer said, Kathleen, our certified autism specialist, she is so good with all of this. And I have to give her credit for all of the DAS pass stories that I posted last week and put on my page, because she did an awesome job of breaking that all down and what it exactly means. So definitely something to ask us about if you have someone in your travel party that could use some extra attention with waiting in line.
For sure. And the moral of the story of that rumor is that your PPV agent did not suddenly forget that fast passes were an option. And we just sent you there without booking fast passes. Believe it or not, we've had some families kind of inquire mid-vacation, wait a minute, why don't we have fast passes? And we're like,
yes, no. I've gotten those texts before.
No, that's not, you're not missing out on anything. Those people don't have fast passes either. Trust me, if fast passes return, you will all we will be shouting it from the rooftops, and we will let you know. But to be honest, we've had a great experience with the park reservation system across the board since the parks reopened. So we really haven't been missing fast passes that much. I hate to say it, but it is true. It's been run very smoothly. And I think that that's also kind of a rumor or a myth that we often are kind of debunking to clients, especially for summer travel and spring travel, is that you can definitely have a good time without fast passes.
Oh, 100%.
We used to feel like the fast pass is what kind of guided the whole day and made everything super convenient. And now we're realizing without it, as long as you have a good plan in place and you have a good planner kind of backing you up and giving you a plan to use once you get there, you can definitely do just as much and sometimes even more with the park reservation. So yes, so we are loving it. Jenny is going to talk to us about our next rumor, which is, take it away.
Okay, so the other question that we get, or the rumor that we've been dealing with a little bit is the attractions and the dining that is or is not open in the parks. A lot of, you got to take everything with a grain of salt because everybody has their own opinions as to what is happening and what is not. And when it comes down to it, you have to look at the facts. And so when I was prepping for this and knew that this was my topic, I totally sat down and made a list because I'm a list maker. And I needed to see it. And I literally went through my Disney Experience app and listed out all of the attractions that are open and all of the dining that's open compared to what's not. And I was actually excited that I got to do this because I've been curious as to really how it compares. It's like I knew that really most things were open, but to actually see it on paper was really good to see. So, like, for example, when we're looking at what is not open, out of all 4 parks, there are literally only 19 things that are not open. And 2 of those are refurbishments that were shut down long before COVID, because like one of them is the Walt Disney World Railroad, and that had to be shut down because they've got the whole Tron light cycle coaster being built like right there. And they're refurbing that whole train station area. But okay, like for example, when we're looking at, say, Magic Kingdom, and people say, oh, but so much is closed. Okay, do you know that including that railroad, there are 6 things closed?
Out of
25, out of 31 attractions in Magic Kingdom, 6 are closed. One of them is the railroad, which is a refurb. Another one is the Hall of Presidents because they've got to add Biden to it. And then the other 4 are the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak, which is basically a spray park kind of thing. Back, it's super cute, but it's a spray, like let the kids cool off. The Frontierland Shooting Arcade. So, and then we got Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor and Enchanted Tales of the Bell. So those 2 would probably be your attractions that you would be more likely to see. But then there are 25 things still going strong. And the People Mover was added to it this week. Woo!
Oh, that's my favorite. I'm so glad to be talking about this particular topic too, because I have so many who say, I just don't think it's worth it with so much being closed. And then
and that's just not the case.
It's not.
I did Hollywood Studios. Do you know I only found one thing that's not open?
Which one is
that?
No,
2 things. I'm sorry. 2 things.
Which 2?
The Star Wars Launch Bay Theater.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Indiana Jones. But here's the thing about the shows, because like Nemo the Musical, and Festival of Lion King's coming back too. But here's the thing about a couple of these shows that are not up and going yet, Enchanted Tales of the Bell being included. When you're talking social distancing, none of these shows were written for people to social distance. So they're having to either just put it on hold and let things, work their way out, or like in the case of Festival of the Lion King, Frozen Sing-Along, they have reworked the shows so that we can still enjoy them, we can still see them. It's just going to be spaced so the cast members are safe. But they're making things really work out really well. And so, in the end, it really is open. When it comes to attractions, it really is open. It really is. So then when you look at dining, because that's been another, dining is, we don't have the dining plan back yet. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that, from what we're thinking, is due to the limited capacity in the restaurants. And we're thinking that once they can up that capacity, we might see that dining plan make its way back. But a lot of times we'll get, people saying, okay, but there's no dining plan. Like, how am I gonna survive Disney World without dining plan? And 100%, I love the dining plan. The dining plan is one of my favorite things, because I don't like looking at the menu prices. But here's the thing: without a dining plan, you still get to eat. You still get to choose what food you want. You still get to go to all those places that you would have used your dining plan credits for. It's just that you're paying out of pocket now instead of, tapping that magic band for a credit. You might be tapping it to charge it to your room. So there's still plenty of dining. I looked like at Magic Kingdom again, that tends to be the biggest part, but the ones that are closed are not even the table service spots. So we're talking like the little like snack stand that might be closed. Like for example, like that Cheshire Cafe, that little, what I'm talking about, the little booth over by Alice in Wonderland, or the teacups. And then when we're looking at, say, Epcot, oh my gosh, there are 36 spots ready for people to come. 36. And that is because I took, that doesn't even account for the 19 outdoor kitchens that are happening right now. Which if you're in Epcot, you kind of want to hit those up, right? For Flower and Garden, and then Food and Wine coming up. But my point is, we have lots of dining to choose from. Table service locations in the parks are there. I know we talked last month a lot about what we like to do as far as table service goes. And a lot of us agents agree that we love having that later lunchtime because it lets us go sit in the air conditioning, relax for a while.
We know when it's coming.
Yeah. And it's always such a big meal at a table service. We're big eaters, but if I eat a late lunch, then I am pretty good to go for most of the evening, especially in the summertime, because I tend not to eat as much. But yeah, so we have lots of awesome places still open, still ready, and it's not just the table service; it's the quick service and some of the snack booths, and it's there and it's waiting for you. So if you see that rumor hit somewhere, know that there's plenty. There's lots to choose from.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we have been kind of giggling about or often kind of reminding people, and I think it's mainly people that are sort of new to planning post-COVID, is like Jenny said, no dining plan does not mean you can't eat. Doesn't mean no dining plan does not equal no dining. And whenever we say that, a lot of times people are like, oh, okay, I get it now. We still can eat. We still can. It's not that Walt Disney World dining is not happening. It is happening. You just cannot bundle that price with your package. You're just paying as you go, like you would when you go out to eat right now, normally. And if the dining plan and when the dining plan returns, even if you're booked without it, we can always add it back onto your package at that time. Much like Fast Pass system, the moment the dining plan returns, you will know, because PPV, again, will be shouting it from the rooftops. We cannot wait for the dining plan to return. And so at that point, we can quote it out for you. We can see what the details are going to look like when the new plans return. And we can always add it to your package, even moving forward. So don't panic. And we also have been telling people, also don't wait for the dining plan to come back to book your trip. Because
those park passes will be gone.
Right, exactly. Because those park reservations are going to need to be made. And you're at no disadvantage by booking ahead of the return of the dining plan. And if the dining plan does not return, we can still book meals. We can still book character dining that's available. We're going to help you with all of that, just like we have in the past. And so don't wait for the dining plan.
Oh. When you say book meals, that reminds me of something else that I've kind of had a lot recently, because lots of, June dining just happened, and then we're moving into July. So I've got all my emails going out, and a couple of people are like, well, what do we don't have the dining plan. So do we even need to book these? Yes. Yes. 100%. Yes. So dining plan or not, we have to book these dining reservations because, like we mentioned leading into this, restaurants are a limited capacity. So we want to make sure that we're getting everybody booked for their reservations for dining versus you trying to get one on the spot. The chances of that are slim to none. So, so even dining plan and reservations are like, you have to have it no matter what. You've got to have a reservation for a table service spot no matter what.
Yeah, and it's more so even now, post-COVID, than before.
I would agree.
Yeah.
They do have that. I was looking today that, they have that walk-up wait list. So, if you did have a last-minute trip go into play and some of the spots you didn't have, you can try to get that. But a lot of times those walk-up wait lists are already at capacity for the day. So I saw Katie mention that she uses the gift cards, the Disney gift cards, to give it like that prepaid feel. And that is such a awesome idea. And I actually had already planned to do that for our summer trip, kind of in my mind, like playing out, okay, well, how much do I usually spend on a dining plan? And I'm going to take this amount of gift cards. And then maybe that'll make it feel like it's more of that all-inclusive with a dining plan kind of thing.
And you can save a little bit of money by buying your gift cards.
That's very true.
At Target with your red card or at Sam's. Just another way to save a few bucks and use it on souvenirs.
Heck yeah. Or margaritas.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had some comments.
Next week, Jenny. Next week.
We had
and we'll be there on Cinco de Mayo. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh gosh, I didn't even realize that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo in Mexico.
Yay. We had some comments about dining that I wanted to address. So we had someone, Elizabeth said, online ordering. It was definitely a learning curve for online ordering, and that is a good point, Elizabeth. That's true, and I think that's been across the board, and it's been changing and evolving ever since it launched. And so we've been learning right along with you, but we certainly have some kind of tips and tricks that are helpful in kind of managing and navigating that new system. So let's quick talk through some of those. Again, like we said, the rumor that you can't eat just because you have a dining plan isn't true. You can do the table service, but also quick service dining. So quick service is like it was before, but also different. So you still have the option to get those grab and go meals, whether that's going to be at your resort or around the parks or even in Disney Springs. But the main difference that you're going to see now post-COVID is that most of the quick service dining locations are moving to mobile order exclusively. So that means within your My Disney Experience app, you are going to place your order for your meal, for the quick service, or for your snack even in some cases now. You're going to place that order. You're going to pay for that order within your app, not with your Magic Band. You're going to pay for it within your app with whatever card or gift card or Disney Rewards card you want to enter there for that payment. And then you're going to go pick up your food when it's ready. Now, there are some tips, and especially in busier seasons like spring break season, the summer season, we're going to see the same thing in terms of placing your order. So say you roll into Magic Kingdom and you know that you want to eat at Cosmic Rays. And you've planned that, you see it in your notes, in your itinerary from your PPV agent, you know it's a good place to eat, and you're planning on dining there for your grab and go meal that afternoon. You can get in the app at 9 a.m. and place your lunch order.
Can you see that?
Yep. So hold it right there. So say you pull up Cosmic Rays, and what's nice too is once you get in the park, these auto-populate for you. It's going to pull what is around you. So you're going to see this in your app when you hit the little addition, the plus sign. You can say add dining. Hold that back up.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
And this is real time, so that's why it's so late at night, because they're getting ready to.
Yep. So you see it there. So the cool thing is that you can select your pickup window. Jenny's so popular, she's getting so many alerts, so we can't.
Sorry.
You can select your pickup window. So you can go in and place your order at 9 a.m., but pick that food up and set your pickup window for 12 to 12:30, for instance. Okay, so you order your food, you pay for your food, you've selected your window for pickup, and now you just go enjoy your day. Now, whenever it's between 12 and 12:30, whenever it's convenient for you within that window that you selected, you head that way, you click in your app, I'm here, or I'm ready, I'm here, ready to pick up my food. The restaurant knows to go ahead and get it ready for you. And then you get an alert the moment it's ready. You walk up to the restaurant, you show them your app. Hey, I got my alert. It says I'm here to pick up my food. And then they usher you on into the restaurant, and you go to the window and you grab your food. So it is different than in the past, but to be honest, once you get the hang of it, it's really great because it keeps you from having to stand in those really long quick service lines to order your food. It keeps you from having to scour the earth to find a table to sit down at, because you also cannot enter these quick service locations for the most part unless your app says your order's ready. They stand at the door. So people can't just come in and spread out and sit down for hours on end without food. So you always have a place to sit. You're not waiting. You can order and then go do rides. And so that tip about kind of pre-ordering, if you can, is super helpful, because sometimes if you have a super popular quick service location, if you wait until noon and you're hungry, you're hot, you're hungry, you want to eat right now.
Your tachos, right, Whitney?
Oh, yeah. My tachos in Hollywood Studios at Woody's Lunchbox. If you want Woody's Lunchbox, then you need to order Woody's Lunchbox when you get in the park that morning. Because if you open your app at 11:30 a.m. to place your even 12 o'clock lunch order, probably the earliest pickup window is going to be somewhere between 2 and 4 p.m. There aren't going to be any more time slots because they only take a certain number of orders for each pickup kind of window of time. So that tip alone right there, kind of pre-ordering, thinking ahead, is going to save you a lot of hassle and stress. And the same is true at the end of the night. If you're a family that you want to grab a bite on the way out, do not wait till the very last minute to then pull up the dining options and then scan the pickup window times, because there might not be very many, if any, left. And again, you can pre-order that meal and then go get it at that time.
And Jerry on here wanted to know about going to the counter. And yes, you do. It will tell you, your pickup is ready at station 4 or whatever it might be. And there it is, like magic.
Yeah.
There's your order, all ready to go. Woo!
Right. And there are big signs everywhere. And before
there's confetti. No, just kidding.
Before they hand you your
mobile order is amazing.
They always ask you, can we see, show us your mobile order. So they make sure it matches up and they have the whole receipt and everything.
Yeah.
But it's so easy. Once you enter the restaurant to go grab it.
It's so easy.
Walk there, grab it and take it.
And the app, it's just just follow the prompts. It's so easy for you.
And like Brittany said on here, even with table service meals, the check-in is easier post-COVID. And yes, that's true too. So those meals that we're booking ahead of time, the table service locations, the majority, not every single one, they're all moving that way, but the majority of table service restaurants are going to prompt you to check in for your meal 15, 20 minutes before your reservation time actually comes. And so you're just going to get an alert magically in your phone that says, hey, time to check in for your dining reservation. And then you follow the super simple prompts. At this time, you can say that you have an allergy. You're already probably going to have that.
I love that.
But you can say it again, which is great. You can say that you're celebrating something. Again, it's probably already going to be on the reservation, but never hurts to add it. One of our favorite things, you can add a +1 to your reservation.
Sometimes.
Online check-in at select locations. So that's really nice. So yeah, you just follow the prompts, say I'm here, say the number of adults, number of kiddos, and then they tell you when it's time to come sit down via the app. Jenny?
And adding, you said that I'm Mary, say something. You know me well. Yep. Adding to the whole, how we were talking about the restaurants being at limited capacity. So resorts, when you're at the resorts and wanting to dine there because there's some awesome table service locations at the resorts, and it doesn't matter if you're not staying there, you can totally go there and eat. But since they reopened, they have gradually been adding these to-go options. Have you seen this in your app? And like, for example, when we stayed at Yacht Club in September, they have Ale and Compass, which we had breakfast there and loved it. Well, then the last night we were there, Ben and I were like, we really want like good food. And the boys were totally happy with, like chicken tenders or whatever, grilled cheese, whatever. So we did their thing, but then we got into our app and there's Ale and Compass restaurant, and then there's Ale and Compass to go. And so if you go to the to go option, you can place your order and have the same menu as the restaurant, but you just pick it up. So we just went out, and Ben totally had steak by the pool and watched the kids swim. And I had this amazing barbecue chicken flatbread, and it was awesome. So when you're looking, especially at your resort, if you have dining options there that are table service locations, check it out, because like at Contemporary, there we go. The Wave is one of the spots at Contemporary, and you can see where it says the Wave and then the Wave to go. So if you don't have a reservation at the actual restaurant, you can hit that to go option and take it back to your room, take it back to the pool, or whatever you want to do, and still enjoy that same menu, even though you didn't have a reservation for that restaurant. And I love that they have done that. I think that's an awesome feature that's out there now.
Yeah, for sure. So to segue into the closing of our show, we're going to talk a quick second and just introduce next time's topic. So May 12th is going to be our next magic hour, and we are going to be discussing all things Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, which is like my most favorite thing in the whole wide world. Second favorite would be the Flower and Garden Festival, which is happening right now. So Flower and Garden is going to go till July 5th, which we're super excited about. Still lots to see and do and eat there. But we are also equally excited for the return of the Food and Wine Festival, because it is going to be a bit of a summer start again. So last year we saw that the festival started kind of in a limited capacity when the parks reopened into the summer. They started in the July again. Now this year it's going to start July 15th, and we're being told it's going to be the full shebang. So the whole thing, it's going to begin July 15th. And it's going to go all the way through November 20th. So while it used to be that the Food and Wine Festival was only sort of a fall festival, it is kind of going to be ushering in fall. But if you're a summer traveler and you're traveling, in July or August before school starts back, lucky you, because you're going to get to experience the Food and Wine Festival as well in Epcot. So if you're traveling at the end of the summer and you don't have Epcot on your plans, I would definitely think twice about that, because we're so excited about
I had a client that was so pumped because her last park day is July 15th.
Yeah.
So guess where we have her park pass?
Yeah.
She's like, yes.
Yeah, for sure. So our next live, if you are going to be a fall traveler or end of summer traveler, definitely hop on the May 12th live, because we're going to talk in depth about what the festival is, kind of some quirky little things that you can buy and do and see during the festival. Of course, we'll be talking about food and fun. I see Brittany said praying Halloween and Christmas party. So are we, Brittany. So are we. And if and when they do, we will surely be talking about those on here as well. But for tonight, we want to say thanks for helping us wrap up kind of our summer travel series as we already start thinking about fall, which is crazy. For the next live, if you didn't, or if you haven't yet, drop a hey Whitney, or hey Jennifer, hey Jenny, or whoever your PPV agent is, even if they're not on here, kind of give them a shout out and say hi. And be sure to check in on our pages later to see kind of what we have going on. But thank you for joining us. Continue to share these lives too, because people can watch it on the playback. Hey, Jerry. People can watch the playback, and we'll continue sharing it too, because I know it's not always with kiddos and whatnot super convenient to get on in the middle of the evening. And so we're excited to continue sharing that throughout the week as well. But thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.
See ya.